This segment that we're about to do, I believe, is an incredibly important one. I've been investigating this for a couple of months. I've had stone walls, but I finally managed to receive some data from the Home Office, who have kindly given it after a bit of pressure, which is great. I've already done a video on this a few days ago, and I've uploaded it.
Was it freedom of information stuff you did?
It was,
Brilliant.
yes.
Cool.
My favourite thing to do in my pastime, believe it or not. And I think I wanted to do this segment essentially again because I've already made a video on it, but I thought it was important to bring it to the Lotus Eaters for a wider audience as well because of how important it is. Obviously, what we're going to do, obviously I've been sent a list of data on the 14 NGOs and charities that have been formally engaged by the UK Home Office in influencing asylum accommodation policy between 2020 to 2024. Best behaviour on this one is all I'll say. I have to present this as fact. We have to go through it as fact. But I will be naming the CEOs and directors behind each of these companies that have been listed by the Home Office. So I'll just say. Before we go into it, Bo, would you like to do some shilling? Like you said from
it's
last
your
time.
turn.
It's
my
my
turn.
You should buy Islander. I actually really love the magazine. I think it's fantastic. This is an outsider's perspective. I don't work here, and I'm not being held.
He says while sat at the desk.
Held at hostage to do it. Don't worry. No, not at all.
Just out of frame.
Yeah, just out of frame. Okay. No, you should go and get this. $14.99, is it?
It is.
Yeah. There it is.
Plus postage and packaging, which if you're in America is a few more quid.
Obviously,
Dollars.
I'm biased because obviously I, come here a lot and do segments, but also I know Rory very well, and he does a fantastic job with all the artwork and just arranging everything. I mean, that's cool. Like, all of it is just awesome. Some really cool people as well writing, so you should go and get it. So, okay, let's begin. So, like I said, in this investigation, I'm going to reveal the 14 NGOs and charities that were formally engaged by the UK Home Office through freedom of information. So many of these groups shape the direction of UK immigration policy behind closed doors with limited public scrutiny and, in some cases, taxpayer involvement. So here's the request that I've been given back. So we'll just go through it a bit. Thank you for your email on the 8th of July. We've included in the Annex A. So your request has been handled. If you're dissatisfied, X, Y, and Z. As part of internal review, the department's handling of your request would be reassessed by staff who are not involved in providing you with this request. So I originally sent the request. They said, no, we can't give you that information. Sorry. And I asked for a list of NGOs or charities that have been formally engaged, etc., etc. For each organisation, please indicate the nature of engagement. For example, consultation, funding, delivery partner, MOU, and the years of involvement. And I'm not requesting any detailed correspondence or raw documents, just a structured list. Because you have to do it condensed, because that's the way that it forces a department's hand to give the information by law. And this is what they've given me in Annex B. So it's given me a list between 2020 to 2024 of every organisation and type of engagement. So it says, based on the information you provided, here is a structured list of non-governmental organisations and charities that were formally engaged by the Home Office in relation to asylum accommodation, including the type. So I thought we could go through each particular organisation. I just want to, as well, disclaimer, I'm not accusing anyone of wrongdoing or anything like that. This is purely just based on facts that the Home Office has provided me. But I think it's important to look into these particular organisations. As Charlotte has said in her opinion, she says, charities are the main drivers of open borders. She said there's lots of them and it's very incestuous / self-perpetuating. Private and state funds are problems. Some charities end up indirectly receiving taxpayer funding, for example, being funded by taxpayer-funded charities. And she says it's a racket. So yeah, I think it's important to bear that in mind as we go through. But like I said, an opinion. So the first one we have, if I just bring the mouse down to this document. Okay.
Sure. So, just taxpayers involuntary, unknowingly funding.
Potential. They don't list exactly which ones, but I'm sure that people like, of course, Charlotte have looked into these charities. Other people, I only know a surface level, so I'm trying to get up to speed with it. So I don't know which ones yet, but I'm sure we can find out. But the first one in this, if I just go back. Oh, no.
Sorry, it's...
That's all right. I'm going to go back to the FOI, if that's all right, with the list. So we're just up here.
Thanks, Samson.
Lovely. So the first one is called Micro Rainbow. And they're a support charity for asylum seekers that are LGBTQ+, and their consultation was via the NASF and SEG meetings. So what that means, I've got this written down here somewhere, but it's basically policy stakeholder meetings. So they'll have like a round table essentially, and they'll have a representative there, and they'll talk about the policy at hand. So in this particular instance, it's the asylum policy. So just to give you a background of what each of them are and what they do essentially. So they specialize in supporting LGBTQI plus asylum seekers, and their founder, who his name is Sebastian Roca, has been recognized internationally for, quote, inclusion work. And that's the next one here. Oh no. There we go. Sorry about that.
Yep. No,
that's this guy, Sebastian Roca. So obviously he's got a Wikipedia page there as well, which you can look into.
An Italian man.
An Italian man, yes.
Right.
Yes. The next one is the NACCOM, so No Accommodation Network. So once again, the same type of consultation. The CEO was Dave Smith as well. It's a UK-based coalition of grassroots groups working on housing issues for migrants with, quote, no recourse to public funds, allegedly. I believe he's stepped down as well, so I don't quite know who the next person will be or
recently.
Is. I believe it's quite recently. I believe there's an article as well on their website too. Another one is the British Red Cross, which, as we know, is a massive humanitarian charity and emergency response unit almost. I mean, it's been famous for a long, long time.
Yes.
Started by... I believe, I had his name written down, but it's not here anymore. I think Lindsay, his name was, back in 1870 or something. So very historic. But it's now headed by Beatrice Butsana Sita, originally from South Africa, from 2023 onwards, and is the UK arm of the Global Red Cross Network with statutory duties in emergency support and migrant aid. The next one is Refugee Action. Now, I want to show you this article in just a second, but I just need to go back down onto this. Forgive me, I'm terrible with using
That's right.
this.
I can do the one on that side for you.
Cool. So Refugee Action is the next one, which is a charity assisting asylum seekers with integration and legal advice. So these ones have been named as well as being around the table between 2020 to 2024 with the Home Office. And the CEO is Tim Naor Hilton. And he had written this article, which I found. It's for The Big Issue. We all know it's a massive newspaper for, I believe, the homeless as well. It's a big charity for the homeless. But he wrote back in December 2024, the root causes of the UK's racist riots remain. The government must be brave and destroy them. This is his words. And
destroy Tim.
I think
talking about.
So I double checked. I believe he's talking about the root causes, which allegedly is in this article.
What, being annoyed that our women folk are being sexually assaulted? What, that, Tim?
Well, I agree. We do need to destroy those root causes. But you do that by not having those people in the country.
Mm-hmm.
Surely, Tim.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Gross.
Yes, indeed. And I believe that this is in reference to the Southport riots, because this was written in December 2024 and is talking about, I believe, the riots happening during that time just beforehand. So, yeah, the Axel Ruda Cabana case and why people were annoyed and angry because of that. So moving on. So the next one is called Asylum Matters, which is a type of advocacy project amplifying refugee/asylum voices. That's same consultation as well between the years 2020 to 2024. The director and CEO is Louise Calvi, and
I thought it was John Goodman.
And it's an advocacy-focused group that lobbies for policy changes and coordinates regional campaigns on refugee rights as well. So that's another one. Okay, and there's plenty more. Like I said, there's 14 that have been, of course, part of this. The next one is just back one. So the next one is the Scottish Refugee Council, which is a Scottish-based charity. Once again, the same years, 2020 to 2024, and same consultation. The CEO being Sabir Zazai, who was an Afghan-born refugee. And they work on housing, legal aid, and integration for asylum seekers in Scotland as well.
Come to our country, and that's how you thank us.
Looks like Martin Scorsese.
And the next one after that...
Sorry.
It's okay.
Go ahead.
It's okay. The next one is Refugee Council, which is a big historic, I believe, charity fund or trust as well. Not trust, sorry. A charity that has been involved as well. Consultation, once again, same thing, same years, and it's one of the UK's most prominent refugee organisations dating back to the 1950s as well. The CEO is, of course, let's have a look. The CEO is Enver Solomon, with the chair being Rachel Orr. I believe that's right at the top as well. That's him there. So the next one we have is ASAP, Asylum Support Appeals Project, which is a legal charity for asylum support appeal hearings. And the director is Marion Francis Edge, according to Company House. And it's a legal-focused NGO offering support to destitute asylum seekers challenging Home Office decisions. So I'm noticing as well that there are lots of different types of charities, NGOs, organisations already, from people that give legal advice, as well as legal advice on like housing, obviously, because it's with the Home Office, but also rights and aid and lots of different types of strands.
All the different means to just keep them in the country.
Exactly. And what's interesting as well is there's no group that does maybe the opposite or has like an opposing opinion or an opposing one as well.
If we did have the policy where you were detained or held on remand until you were just deported, then there would be absolutely no need for a whole organisation to make sure you're not homeless. We wouldn't be homeless, you'd be held on remand, right?
Right.
So that would clear that up for a start. But anyway.
Yeah. The next one, nearly there, so is ASAP, which is Asylum Support Appeals Project. So once again, a legal charity for... Sorry, just going back up. The legal charity for asylum support appeal hearings.
Right.
So we're starting to see a bit of almost a bigger picture and a bigger context as to why it's becoming quite increasingly difficult for politicians who may be trying to challenge the asylum system and the broken asylum system that we're told about as well.
So there's things in place for as soon as you get here, things in place to help you with your legal troubles, and then something in place to help you with your appeal should you fail first time round. Right. It's okay. They've got all the bases covered.
Indeed. So this next one, sorry, I think we just touched on that. The next one here is freedom from torture. So this was a type of medical and therapeutic support for torture survivors between the years 2020 to 2024. The CEO being Sonia Skeets, and it's a group that lobbies on behalf of torture survivors in asylum cases. But this same particular one, after doing a bit of digging, because they've been going around, like I said, like it says there, like over 40 years, they were lobbying against the Rwanda scheme, the one that the Tories set up. So they were really lobbying against that particular process, and it seems as though that, of course, failed completely.
Yes.
Well, it's because they've got human rights, a record of human rights abuses in Rwanda. Is that the case? I actually don't know.
I believe that there has been, over the years.
And don't get me wrong, I was against the Rwanda scheme too,
but for
I
different
suspect
reasons.
For different reasons, right?
Right.
It was always a one in, one out thing anyway.
Yeah.
Right.
We were just going to exchange like Albanian asylum seekers for a Rwandan person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't.
And pay them for the privilege.
So it was always a swizz. It was always misdirection at best.
Because there was, I think I remember the Rwandan scheme, there was a big push for different types of campaigns, both for and against. And everyone had all these different sorts of opinions and different sort of basis to why it would and why it wouldn't work from both the Tories and Labour. And I believe, I need to double check this, but I believe freedom from torture, yes, was part of stopping the Rwanda scheme, allegedly. And yes, part of the lobbyist groups for that. But still, their tenure between the Home Office and them is between 2020 and 2024. So it's not just Rwanda. It could be others as well, which I don't know yet. And the next one is Rainbow Migration, formerly the UK Lesbian and Gay Immigration Group, which is a type of charity helping LGBTQI plus people with asylum claims, same years 2020 to 2024, and provides legal guidance and advocacy for LGBTQ plus migrants, including those fleeing persecution. And that is Layla Zader, of course, the CEO or executive director. The next one is the Helen Bamber Foundation, which is a charity, again, providing rehabilitation to survivors of trafficking and torture as well. They've had the same consultations, 2020 to 2024. The CEO is Alison Pickup, and they offer clinical and legal support for asylum seekers suffering extreme trauma. So like I said, I'm going through all these charities that the Home Office has given me and just giving just a broader context on who they are and what they do, just a reminder. And the last one as well, there's a couple more others, I'm so sorry. It's quite a lot, 14. Migrant Help is one, which is a direct support charity for asylum seekers. And they were actually, it wasn't just an NASF consultation, they're a delivery partner, what is called AIRE contract. Now I have the actual... what's the term? The abbreviation of that and what that actually means, just up here. 2 seconds. So yeah, the National Asylum Stakeholder Forum, which is the NASF, and it's Strategic Engagement Group, so SEG. So Migrant Help acted as a delivery partner for AIRE services, otherwise known as Advice on Individual Rights in Europe. So that's a specific type of strain as well. So that strays away from the original just consultation. They're actually providing more of a delivery service on help. So a bit more sort of coordination in that respect. I know it's quite a lot to take in, so I do apologise.
It's all just so perverted. It's all just so...
And okay, so that one...
You're right, it is, but just quickly to say, it is a bit perverse because... I think that's the right word because, on the face of it, isn't that a wonderful and noble thing to try and help people that have been tortured, right? On the face of it.
Yeah.
But then the reality is you're flooding us with rapists, though, right? What a perverse thing to have subverted something as good, even noble, as trying to help torture victims. to subvert that and make that into some sort of tool or a cog in the machine of making white people, natives, a minority in their own ancestral homeland. What a disgusting...
and how many of these people are foreign as well? Because foreigners who've obviously been let in, first generation, second generation.
Seems like quite a lot of them.
By our good graces, you know, and rather than try and preserve the safe country that they've come to, just exacerbating the problem, making it a more dangerous place than they first arrived.
Yeah.
So like I said, I'm going to just stick with, obviously, what's been given by the Home Office. I'm not going to, obviously, for this particular segment, I personally am not going to dive into anything, but, you know, so that's, you know, just going to, the next one is ILPA, which is the Immigration Law Practitioners Association. They're kind of like a legal professionals membership group that done, obviously, once again, consultation. Jonathan Griffin as well, and apparently they're currently looking for a new CEO as well. But he's part of a sustainability, I believe, company or some kind of thing there. It's not a charity, like I said, but a legal association that influences immigration policy through expert lobbying as well. So there's lots of different NGOs, charities, and even law firms almost that have the Home Office has provided that has explained what is going on in that respect. And the last one is one that isn't a surprise, but that's the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees as well. So the UN Refugee Agency has been heavily involved with, quote, strategic consultation and policy advisory role. So the UN has been advising in terms of policy with the Home Office, that's what I'm reading there, and having major strategic consultation. The UK representative is Vicky Tennant, and it's the official UN body responsible for monitoring the UK's compliance with international refugee law. So you can, if you would like, I've already made a video on this as well, but I'll provide the link for all of these particular organisations, and you can read through it yourself. Don't take my word for it. Like I said, these are all public-facing figures of each organisation, and this is what the Home Office has given me. So I'm just repeating exactly what the Home Office has said. Feel free to go through the list yourself, just to double-check, fact-check, do what you got to do. But I believe it's in the public interest that people need to know what is going on, you know, the broader picture. You know, we always talk about things like the charities, and of course with Charlotte's particular post as well. So I think it's in the public interest for people to understand and know. So that's why I brought this information onto the Lotus Eaters today, and just to share. And that's it.
No, it's great work. It's sterling work. It's so good that haven't you been plagiarised? Haven't some other mainstream media just basically stolen your stuff?
But Habsification here says Lewis and Charlotte have been screwed over by the legacy media. Plagiarism is all they have left, since these institutions are lazy and slow and can't keep up. Their legitimacy is dying out. Yeah, they keep nicking your stuff.
Yeah, so bit of context on that for those who don't know, because I have been shouting about it for the whole weekend, so I'm so sorry. Yeah, there's been two particular stories that I've broken. One was the Asylum. It was the HC2 certificates that have been given to people of low income in the UK, and there was nearly 1 million of these certificates given to asylum seekers in particular across the nation. And I fought tooth and nail to try and get that information, and I did, and I posted it. And the NHS, of course, what they would do, they would take that information and they will post it on the NHS data log, as they would do if a new bit of information is drawn out. But they get rid of your personal details, which makes sense. So you can't see who looked into it. And even though I posted it, several days later, the Telegraph in particular, or a journalist from the Telegraph, took the story and said it was the Telegraph.
The Telegraph can reveal the...
Yes.
No?
and that was actually me.
So,
It was brackets.
so sleazy.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
So sleazy.
Yeah, you got no shame whatsoever.
Yeah. So there was that, and there was the incident of when I did the TV shows that had COVID messaging, nudge unit messaging, lots of different stuff, and I managed to get internal memos between the CEOs of all these big broadcasters, the BBC, Channel 4, all of these. I managed to draw that out, and they did the same thing.
Well, the Telegraph.
Yeah. A journalist from the Telegraph did that. Yeah. And same with Charlotte as well. They've ripped off her stories as well and passed it. She even pitched it. I saw it. She even pitched the story to them about the asylum seekers that were receiving Valentine's cards from school. Did you see that?
Yeah, I did.
So she pitched it to the Telegraph, and they were like, "No thanks,"
They were like,
and
no,
then
and then said great work, and then was like, nah,
Scandalous.
that's
bad. isn't it?
cheeky.
More than cheeky.
Yeah, it's way more than cheeky.
So, and
It's
I
out of order.
want to clear up as well about this because people have been asking me, well, why can't you sue? Can't you do this? Can't you do that? Because it's freedom of information, and it goes out into the public domain, and it becomes very, very difficult. You could say intellectual property. You could go down all these routes, but unfortunately, like it's not like America where you can just, do that. I have no intention of doing something like that because that's not me, anyways. And people know.
Yeah, I was going to say people in the know.
No, and I'll be honest, I like the Telegraph. I like what they do. There are some great journalists there. Michael Murphy, Alison Pearson. All of these people. So it's not in my interest to do that, but it is very, very, very annoying.
We must have had all of it. I've seen quite a few segments, even one or two of mine, that we do on Lotus Eaters, and then like a few days later it's a bit on GB News.
Yeah, well,
that totally happens from time to time.
This is what happens.
Or just a talking point that someone like Carl or Harry or me or Josh will say something, and then it's suddenly a talking point amongst those, because you, like you say, you don't own it. If you put it out there in the public domain or on Twitter, you then don't own it. So it's fair enough.
No, and it's data. It's government data.
But it's a bit annoying that you get no credit, or someone actively takes credit for it when it clearly wasn't them.
Exactly. I'm not asking for. I'm just saying. Revealed by X, Y, and Z. I mean,
might be
it's
nice,
courteous.
mightn't it? Yeah.
Because what happens is, a big outlet will take the story from I'm going to say it, lower class journalists, that are like citizen. Yeah, I know. I'm talking about myself, right? That are
the artful
that
dogs of journalists.
Yeah, lower class is how they would probably see it. Yeah. The people who do the research, who send 30 FOI requests every week, and then what they will do, they will see it and go, okay, well, we can have that because, it's in the public domain.
Yes.
I'm not asking for much. I'm moaning a lot.
Who are the men that pick for scraps amongst the ruins at the end of history? You should know, because you encounter them every day. Between the towering buildings of a fallen empire, we find the Fellaheen, the historyless men, who know nothing of the turning of the cosmic wheel and find themselves outside of civilization itself. Cut loose from the great chain of being, they represent the loam into which our dying culture will return. That is, unless we choose to take up the burden once again. This Fellaheen condition is the subject we explore in issue 4 of Islander magazine, on sale while stocks last and available worldwide at shop.lotuseaters.com.